What is up, party people? Welcome back to a new episode of the Out Yonder. We've made some changes around here. I got a new opening, as you just seen. I cut that this week. So we added a couple of new things, some new exciting things to that. I have lots of exciting things to talk about news-wise later on in the show. But first, we have our first new guest in quite a while. Stephanie Tisza is here. Welcome, Stephanie.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. It's good to have you out here. We've known each other for a little bit, and we'll get into that for a second.
Yep.
But it's great to have a new guest. We've been kind of like, I haven't done a new show with like guests in a while. We haven't done shows like, oriented on guests. I've just brought the show back after a couple of years off, and I've just been doing updates on my stuff going on. But we finally got a new guest, and that's because, I did a couple of new episodes. I have a whole bunch of new friends since I've done the film festival.
Oh,
circuit.
good. Yeah.
And you reached out, and I've had a couple of other people reach out, and it's like, you know what? It's time to start doing some shows again.
It's funny because when I first moved here, I kept hearing about you, and then I saw you doing this show. And then when I finally met you this summer in Pioneer Town, I felt like I was meeting a celebrity.
Well, I'm glad you didn't tell me that because my head's big enough already. Figuratively and literally, my head's big enough, so it doesn't need to grow anymore.
So I'm very happy to be here.
No, it's awesome to have you. And we have an excellent day out here.
And this is nice.
Yeah, so there's no wind. And the last show I did, the wind was ferocious. It like almost destroyed. And we've had a couple of shows like that. I actually had a friend of mine who's a big TV star, Chad Coleman, who came out and did a show.
Oh,
and you
cool.
virtually can't hear it because it's like the wind just destroyed it.
Oh, that can happen.
Yeah, but today's perfect. It's been a while. And like I have friends who are in the film industry and they're like, oh, we can fix the sound, and this is like, you don't understand.
No post.
There's no guy. This is a desert. It's open land.
Yeah.
And when you have a running live camera and an open mic for 30 minutes, you can't control the environment.
It's not just crackle and pop. It's like the whole timeline.
There's nothing you can do about it. So I've decided that the aesthetic is more important than the sound. So nobody has a set like this.
That's how I view my band.
And we're gonna get into that in a minute too.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So nothing. We have the best set of any podcast in the world. I think this is
love
fantastic.
it. I think it's beautiful.
And we got a great day here in
We're
December.
in the middle of nowhere. Yes, 74
in the
degrees.
Middle of nowhere. Beautiful Joshua trees, and every once in a while we get all sorts of wacky stuff happening. We get vultures pop up behind us in the Joshua trees. Crazy stuff. People come through on their all-terrain vehicles and coyotes. We've had all sorts of stuff happen.
Has it happened when you've been filming?
Oh yeah, several times.
Oh, I love that.
We already have a special guest today. We have E.T. with us today.
Yay! He really wants to go home.
Yeah, don't we all? I'd like to go home with him. We may get into that later too. We'll see what happens. But so we met in Pioneer Town this summer.
Yeah.
We have a mutual friend. And Stephanie as well.
Yeah.
And I was there to promote. It was like the Pioneer Town is having their first film festival, and they were doing like these pre-festival events with like Western movies.
Yeah.
And so I was there to kind of promote myself before we actually got accepted to the film festival.
Yeah.
And I met you, and I think actually the night that I met you, you were there actually. Like when the guy came over and he told me. Yeah, I think we're going to take you in our festival.
Oh yeah,
so, yes.
I remember. Yeah, that was a big night, and then we didn't even stay for the film though.
No, because they had trouble. There was
Yeah.
complications with the film. They couldn't get the sound going.
What film was that?
I believe it was The Wild Bunch.
Oh, that's right. And I've still never seen that.
You've never seen it? Oh, you need to see The Wild Bunch.
I have never seen it because that night it didn't happen. So we'll see.
Well, you've seen inspirations of The Wild Bunch in my film, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's talk about you for a while. I've been talking about me on the show
God.
forever. It's nice to have somebody. My wife has been doing yeoman's work. I was like, all right, I need to do a show. I need a guest. Come on out.
Aww.
But it's good to have somebody else on the show, and she's more than willing to give up the seat and say, yeah, go talk to. I'm tired of talking to you. Talk to somebody else. So you have a band.
Yes.
And you just played out in Wonder Valley, and the desert people who are watching know what Wonder Valley is.
Yes.
But it's just, Wonder Valley is even deeper out in the desert. It has this really spiritual, crazy
Astral Plains driftery.
Yeah, it's definitely got a wild vibe to it. And there's a place out there called the Palms.
Yep.
That they kind of keep on the down low. I don't even know if they want me mentioning their name or not. But
no, I think it's okay.
It's okay?
Yeah, I think it's okay.
It's like a restaurant bar kind of thing, and they have a live event there. Do they just do music there, or they do other kinds of artistic stuff there?
They have done other things there too. I saw a film screening there once. I think it was Aliens. And the woman, one of one of the actors in the movie actually came out.
that's
Jeanette something. She's in Terminator 2.
Oh,
Jeanette, do you know her? Jeanette Goldstein.
Yeah.
Which, funny story, my friend Stephanie is engaged to her son.
Oh, wow.
And Jeanette Goldstein operates a bra store in Los Angeles now. But anyways, she came out and spoke about the film and whatnot. But yeah, the Palms is a great place. Actually, when I first moved here, I didn't know a soul.
Right, you're from Chicago.
Yeah.
And I'm from New York, so we're kind of kindred spirits that way.
We got that kind of Midwest, East Coast vibe.
Yeah.
Totally.
And we kind of came out here around the same time, too. You were around 2017?
March 2017?
Yeah, and I came out,
2018,
and I came out like July, August 2017, so we're only about 6 months apart.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
That's weird. A lot of the people that I've become friends with here, it seems like we all came here about the same time.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Well,
but yeah, the Palms is great. Thank you for coming to the show.
It was awesome. We had fun. So let's talk about your band a little bit.
Yeah.
So you're called the Lost Hikers.
Lost Hiker.
Lost Hiker,
Lost
excuse
Hiker,
me.
yes.
Lost Hiker. And the vibe that I got from you guys, and tell me if I'm wrong, the vibe that I felt like I was watching Morphine a little bit. Are you familiar?
Oh,
You
wow.
definitely have a Morphine vibe to you guys.
Wow, thank you for saying that.
Yeah,
I've been listening to Morphine a lot lately.
Yeah, so you play the electric bass with a viola bow.
Yep.
And then you have a guitar player, which Morphine doesn't have, but that's cool. But yeah, the horn player, trumpet he plays, correct?
Trumpet, Mark Soden plays the trumpet.
And then the drums. But then you do
jazz drums.
And then you do, it's all kind of improvisational. The lyrics, the music, everything, you just kind of jazz improv kind of a thing.
Definitely. So Larry Kopkar, who is one of my besties here, he is far more interesting than me. You should have him on a show one of these days.
If he wants to come on, he's more than welcome.
He would love it. But he was a comedian at the world famous Comedy Store in LA.
Yeah.
So he's just really good at those one-liners. You know what I mean? And it's a funny story. I went to see a show at the Palms. Between you and me and everybody on the show, I was feeling kind of like, oh, I don't love the music scene here. And then I went to see Larry one day, and it was just like, I was like, oh my God, he's doing exactly what I want to do. So, but yeah, so he used to be a comedian in LA, and a few times a week I go over to his house and we jam. And he was just like, you know, you don't really know how to play bass, but you're making some cool noises. You know what I mean? So they asked me to play with them, and it was great. Tony Mason, who is our guitarist, who is fucking shredding.
Yeah.
Can I say
nonstop. You can say fuck all you
want. Yeah, he was shredding.
We can do whatever the fuck we want out here.
Tony is great too. He was one of the. He's an OG desert rat. He came out here before anybody else. Kind of like right when Ted Quinn got here too. They're friends.
Right.
And he helped open the Rancho de la Luna recording studio.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So he's awesome.
See,
he's
that's
like
what I thought, and that's a great segue, because like what I was going to say, I was going to agree with you that I'm not enamored with the music scene out here, because when I came out here, like I'm a big Queens of Stone Age fan.
We're from the cities,
right? And Dave Ketching over at Rancho de la Luna, so I'm into that whole scene.
Yeah.
But it seems like the music that's going on here right now, it's all this kind of ethereal electronica. And it's, you know, and I know the young pups like that stuff, and it's vibrations, and it feeds whatever, you know, substances they're on.
Yeah.
But I don't really think it's like music, but you know.
I think for me too, I love like art rock and avant-garde anything, and that's always what I've been drawn to. So, but what's cool about Larry and Tony and Mark, of course, is like they can really play.
Yeah.
Mark Soden, Fog Machine. He runs the Santa Ana Noise Festival, and he plays trumpet and I think a few different other things. But anyways, yeah, Larry was taught drums by Jack DeJohnette, a famous jazz drummer from upstate New York and whatnot. So those guys really know what they're doing, you know?
No, it was really definitely a cool scene, and it was funny too. He had his stand-up comedian chops.
Yeah, that's what's great.
So it's not really singing; he's really just like blurting out some improvisational lines, sentences, and there's sometimes there's a beatnik approach to it, and sometimes there's stand-up comedy chops to it.
And punk too, a little bit.
There's definitely a punk aspect to it.
Yeah.
And he's from upstate New York as well, so he's got
Albany.
So he's got that gritty back east kind of feel to him as well, and he's old school. He's a little bit older.
That's why I think we're friends, you know what I mean? Like you find your like-minded people.
For sure.
Yeah. So
So it was really cool, and I had a great time out there, and it was fun.
Oh,
and we
good.
met some
Thank
other
you for
guys.
coming. That was great.
No, it was great, and I can't wait to see it again. I'll definitely come the next time you guys play.
Yeah, we had the luxury of being like the only thing going on the day after Thanksgiving, so everybody showed up, which was awesome.
Yeah, there was a lot of young pups there too, so that was good. So
I
it's
know.
exposing them to some new stuff.
I know. I don't usually see those.
You know, because unless it's on TikTok, they don't really get exposed to anything.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I had TikTok for a day, and then
I don't have it.
I just can't.
No,
I'm too lazy for that.
Too much work, you know.
Too much work.
effort. I'm trying to do, and no, I'm not trying to disparage anybody, but I'm trying to do real stuff, you know.
Yeah.
As we sit here and do this.
That is such a great thing to say, because I noticed when I moved out here, I kind of moved out here because I was way too busy in the advertising world for years, not working on my own stuff. I wasn't making any films anymore. I wasn't writing anymore and whatnot. And I knew that this moving out here would afford me more time to do so. Which
it definitely does.
Yeah.
Your life becomes quieter, simpler.
Yeah.
You know, just moving out, like I lived in LA for a long time, so just getting 3 hours of my life back a day just by not having to drive back and forth home.
That's a good point.
You know, like 3 hours a day just to go maybe 20 miles round trip.
That's funny, and I complain when I have to go to Yucca for toilet paper.
So you just have more time and more clarity.
Yeah,
and
more clarity for sure.
And you find yourself being outdoors more, and even like stuff like I like to work in my yard and just be outdoors and do stuff, and that's kind of meditative to me because I focus on the manual task at hand, and it clears everything else out and allows more creative space in your brain.
Yep.
So it's definitely this area definitely feeds that, and it's definitely helped me immensely.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about mental clarity. I was wondering, I watched Astral Planes Drifter about 5 times the other night, and I didn't want to miss anything.
Right.
But I wondered if you had ever learned transcendental meditation.
I haven't, but I know.
Okay.
I mean, I know enough of it. I didn't actually practice it.
Okay.
But I study a lot of different things. I read up on everything.
Yeah.
I try to inform myself as much as possible.
Okay.
What I like to say is all belief systems are man construct. All man construct has agenda. So I don't believe in anything.
Okay.
But I study everything.
Yeah.
I learn everything and try and find out where everybody's coming from. But at the end of the day, I'm like, well, that's your deal, man. And anything you're trying to give to me, it has your agenda on it. So I'll listen to what you're saying, and I'll take pieces of it, but I'm not buying in.
Same. I'm the same.
Yeah.
I take pieces of all different kinds of things, whether it's Judaism, Catholicism, transcendental meditation, which was derived from the Hindu religion,
right,
and so forth. You know, so
yeah. But like that philosophy in life also feeds into my philosophy in filmmaking and art. I don't want to be in a box, so I like to just take everything I have, and I try and fill my head with so much shit that I don't know which way it's coming from, and so I have a big stew going on in my head. So there's lots of inspiration in everything that I do, but I'm not really sure where it's coming from. So
it's funny that you say that, because anytime I create something, I feel like I'm downloading it from somewhere. I'm like, where is this even coming from, right?
Yeah. And if you feed your head with enough stuff, you get inspired by it, and then your subconscious kind of takes it over.
Yeah.
And it just kind of gets embedded in your fibers, and it just comes out of you, and you don't even really know why.
Our fibers. We are robots. We're organic robots.
We are fibers. We are organic. No, there is something to that.
Yeah. So can we talk about the movie yet?
Yeah. But first, let's give your background, because it's important.
Okay. Yeah.
So you actually, because we talked about how you're out in the desert and you're playing music right now, but you have a film background.
Yeah, I studied filmmaking with filmmaker James Benning at California Institute of the Arts.
Yeah.
After that, I moved back to Chicago to teach high school and college, community college and regular college.
Let me step in 1 second. For those of you not familiar with California Institute of the Arts, CIA.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Tim Burton went there. My cousin and her husband went there, and they were a little bit older than you, so they probably were before you. But they went there. Actually, my cousin's husband grew up with Don Cheadle in Colorado, so they went to CIAT. So I knew Don, but I haven't seen him in a while. But I knew him back in the day when he was coming up, because they were just all still college buddies, and they still hang out with him.
Cool.
But there's been a ton of people that have come to our school, so that's a great learning center.
Definitely. I mean, there's actually a professor there. I mean, I don't even know if he's still alive, Tom Anderson. He made that film Los Angeles Plays Itself, which it's been around forever. People talk about it. Anyways, there was a rumor that he was the inspo for Beetlejuice, because he's this kind of crazy looking guy with like this yellowy gray hair and like moles on his face and so forth. So there's a rumor that he was a inspo for Beetlejuice.
Well, that would make a lot of sense.
I think so.
Because he graduated.
Yep.
Tim Burton. I don't even. Yeah, I guess that's sometime in the '80s. So maybe that voice is still there, but maybe not.
He was there when Tim was there.
Right.
He was there when I was there, but he was pretty old then, so I don't know. But yeah, no, CalArts was a great time. I lived in LA for a little bit. I worked in Hollywood a couple times, and I just I don't want to work like 13-hour days, so I kind of gave that up, you know what I mean? Unless I was writing something or directing it. I don't want to help.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I feel that, I mean, from an acting perspective, I feel that vibe where, for me, professionally, professionally, career-wise, it's like, I put co-stars and actors and guest star stuff, and it's like small parts on big things, and you don't really have. Just show up, and they don't even really want you doing too much acting, because if you show, that's a hidden thing that most people. It takes you a while to figure out when you're auditioning for stuff that they don't really want you acting, because they're paying somebody else a lot of money, and they don't really want you showing up to people who they're paying a lot of money, which a lot of times.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
A lot of times the people that they're paying a lot of money, I don't know why they're paying them a lot of money. But, so like, no, please don't act. I've actually been told in auditions, stop acting. Stop. And, and we can get to all sorts of stuff where acting is reality. I'm not going to get to all my bullshit acting stuff.
Yeah.
But they actually don't want you giving too much of a performance. They want you just kind of being...
You're authentic in a way.
So, so I actually started getting more results when I stopped giving a shit about what I was doing audition-wise and just spit out lines and just kind of bend myself. So it's like, you know what? They just want, they may see something in me, they may not. So I'm just going to give almost a monotone delivery to their thing and maybe give a little piece of something. And that seems to work better. That's all they want.
Yeah.
They don't really want you.
They don't want,
they don't want you showing your
too
chops.
hard and all of that. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I've had conversations with many people that in the industry that are highly successful. Like when you're showing up for them small parts, they don't want you doing anything, because they spend a lot of money on that person. They don't want you showing them up.
I think too that if you're a really successful actor, you're so good at it that it comes across as if you're not acting.
Right.
Too,
Right. And I know I didn't choose my words right when I said, but they don't want to see you acting because they're acting professors out there. Of course they don't want to see you acting, but
Yeah.
Don't get me started on acting teachers either. That's a whole nother argument.
I had to work with right before COVID. I had written a play, and I was working with a producer out here named Lawrence Lane. He worked on and off Broadway for many years. Read my play and was like, "I like it. I'll produce and direct it." And but that got shut down because of COVID. We might do it in January, but I'm feeling like over it. So I don't know. It's like it didn't happen. And now I'm like, do I really want to go back to that old idea?
Right.
But he said the same thing. I mean, he was like, these people would come in and they would, you know what, you didn't try out for my play. No, I'm thinking about that.
Yeah, well.
I wonder if, maybe you didn't see the flyers or something.
Maybe. I'm kind of, I kind of do my own thing out here. I'm kind of like, I kind of live on an island a little bit. Even though, they say the desert's full of weirdos, but I think even the desert weirdos look at me and they're like, there's something wrong with that guy.
My friend Larry always says, this town is one big nut house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I can't disagree, man. But working with actors, I mean, there are some people who, they really gave it their all, but it came across as not believable.
Right.
So I think there have been books written about that too. I mean, Gene Wilder said that. The best thing is to just not act and just to be natural.
Yeah.
John Cassavetes too.
Right. No, there's tons of people. I mean, it's all. I mean, I don't like. Once again, like with the acting stuff, I know I have a lot of friends who are like, I study this philosophy and behind.
Like
Uta Hagen or Stella Adler or Strasberg or whoever, and Sandy Meisner. But I'm like. Once again, with that, I like to take pieces of all of it and make it my own. Yeah. Because I don't want you put yourself into you box yourself in.
Totally.
If you just stay on one road, and I don't like to do that. That's my take.
Mosaics are more beautiful.
Yeah. I agree.
Yes.
I 100%.
Yes.
So we keep going around and around, but that's cool. We're having an awesome conversation. So you wanted to talk about the movie. Well, I guess we can get there now.
Yeah,
So
okay.
from your film background, so you watched it 5 times, you said?
Yeah, I loved it so much. No, it was so well done, and I really appreciate that when I see stuff like that. You know, the cinematography was amazing. The editing was hilarious. My favorite part is when you're being kicked, but
yeah, don't give away too much.
Okay, all right,
yeah.
But no, it was hilarious, and I mean, there's just so much there. You talk about aliens, and then there's that kind of attractive vampire person.
Yeah.
With the brocade suit.
Not too much. Not too much.
No, but it was really great. But I think it needs to be a feature-length film.
Yeah. So
it needs to be a feature.
Well, I have a feature length.
Oh.
You know, so I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I've talked about it here before, but so I have a feature length written that I'm going to start pitching soon.
Great.
We're going to get into that in a few minutes.
Okay.
And so it's a prequel that I've written. I have a trilogy in my head.
Oh.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because it's a Western at heart.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Everybody loves the Sergio Leone trilogy. So how can you not have a trilogy? I'm more of a Jodorowsky guy. I mean.
Oh yes.
Yeah, El Topo. My Western trilogy is Holy Mountain and El Topo and Santa Sangre.
Yes, Santa
that's
Sangre.
The kind of,
I used to teach that one. The kids really freaked out during the tattoo scene.
Yeah.
They were like, "What is this freaky professor?"
Crazy
showing
stuff.
us?
So that's kind of like it. And there's 37 different inspirations in my 10-minute short film. We can go on and on and on about all the different stuff that fed my head for that thing.
No, I mean, it was great. The alien thing, I think that's an interesting thing that you can explore further. I love when you said something about there are people who think that aliens are us from the future.
Yeah.
That's current. I mean, people are really,
There is and that's kind of my style. I like to have really ridiculous slapstick comedy stuff on top. And then if you're paying attention and if you watch it a couple of times, there's some, I don't like to get too messagey, but there's some stuff
it's subtle.
but it's subtle and it's entertaining.
Little nuggets in there.
I'm not hitting anybody over the head with anything. If you
want
it to be there, it's there.
Yep.
And if you don't, you totally don't need to even see it. You know, so it's cool. So I feel like I did something pretty cool.
But I love all the different elements. It was like the girl. It's okay. Maybe I shouldn't say so much. There was this kind of 50s bombshell vibe, right?
Yeah.
And then you're a hippie, and then there's pizza, and you know what I mean? The vampire. It had a kind of Omega Man.
Yeah.
Do you know Omega Man, Charlton Heston?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely Omega Man, and there's definitely I have so many references. Obviously, there's Cheech and Chong stuff there.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that.
There's
but yeah.
Tommy stuff there. I'm a big Ken Russell fan. I don't know how much you know Ken Russell, but Tommy, the Who Tommy musical.
Oh, okay.
And Altered States he did, and The
Altered
Devils,
States.
which is a band movie which I own, which you need to see, with
Okay.
Oliver Reed and Vanessa Redgrave.
I've not seen that.
So he's very out there and vivid in his pictures. But that stuff and 80s Flash Gordon, which is not a great movie, but the production is outrageous. So there's so many different things that feed into this thing. I have the westerns, and I have.
And it's not easy to do that, to string all those things together and create one product, right? But
No,
I think
it's very
you did so excellently.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Most people don't even try it, but I just really wanted to do something that spoke to me.
Yeah.
And I know a little bit about what I feel like is my strength is character development, and I think if you have a strong character that people want to pay attention to,
They want to follow him.
You can follow along. You just because you care about what's going on with the characters ultimately.
Totally.
People get caught up in their genre narrative and they want to stay true, but I'm just I don't follow conventional story arc. I do have a beginning, a middle, and end, but everybody talks about thread A and thread B, and I'm just fuck all that. So the name of my production company is What Do You Got Productions, and most people have seen it now, but they don't really know what it is. And it's a famous line from The Wild One with Marlon Brando, because when they're in the shop and everybody's dancing around, he's hanging on the juice box, and the girls ask about what is the BRMC and the Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, and they're like, Rebel Motorcycle Club, Johnny, what are you rebelling against? What do you got?
I love that. It's great.
And that's the whole essence, spirit of the whole thing.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Are you interested in making other people's films, helping
It's great.
seed other young people's films out here?
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because that's one of the big news items here today that I have. So what's happening now, I kind of spearheaded it, and we just kind of agreed to it yesterday. So along the festival circuit here over the past year, I've met many filmmakers. and I've become pretty good friends with multiple award-winning filmmakers through the course of my festival circuit here. There's one guy named Joe Riley who has a film out there right now called The Lake Parasite, which is hysterical. It's a horror comedy. And then another guy named Michael Seabolt, who's a LAAD, who has a movie called Sleep Tight out there right now. It's more of a straight horror short film, and that's amazing. And then another guy from New Jersey who I met on the East Coast named Brett Lala, who has a movie called The Andy Baker Tape, that is a feature-length found footage that's killing it on the festival circuit. We all kind of know each other through the festival circuits, so I just put together a consortium with them. They're coming out here in February. They're camping out at my house for a couple weeks. And over a 2-week period, we are going to be producing 4 short films.
No way!
So,
that's great.
So it's kind of like the new Hollywood era of the 70s, where like Coppola and Lucas and De Palma and Spielberg.
Hal Ashby.
I'm really blowing us up. We're not quite those guys, but the point of it is that we're all getting together and creating. The goal I think we really want to do is we're going to do 3 scripted, planned out shorts, and then we're going to do 1 more from the seat of our pants, pulling shit out of our ass at the end of it.
Cool.
And see what we come up with.
That's going to be a great time.
So we're doing that. So, we're pulling, and a guy that I know from the festival circuit who's an amazing VFX guy, he just jumped on board with us today.
Oh, wow.
And you have a film background, so I'm sure you have stuff to contribute. So if you want to jump on with us, so that's happening. So we do have a consortium. Fun. So we have some stuff going on that's very exciting. We're very excited. We're going to have some cool stuff. And my project that I'm putting in there is actually going to be a second Drifter tale.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so I have a even crazier story.
That
feeds from it's kind of leading from that one. And even though I have a feature length, we're going to do another thing that picks up from where we left off.
I love that. I love that as kind of a bookend or a starter. This guy drifting in and drifting out of a narrative. Drifting in and drifting out. That's great.
So it's...
could do a lot of different tales.
Yeah. So it's endless, I think, because it's a cool character. So I think we have some cool stuff.
If I keep drinking this, I'm going to be drunk.
Yeah. So ease up. The sun's getting hot out here. It's right on us.
It is a little.
Yeah.
What's E.T. think?
Yeah, what's E.T.? He's nappy. He's like your baby. I think he just
E.T.
said I'm drunk.
He said more vodka,
I think he just said I'm drunk as shit.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
He's tripping.
So I actually started, my plan out here was originally to film stuff in the summertime.
Oh.
And just sit out here for 2 hours and film stuff. And just get heat stroke and see what kind of delusions.
And die.
Yeah, and just have really crazy conversations. But it was impossible. The camera overheats. We overheat.
I believe it.
It's just so we actually can't even sit out here and film in July and August. But that was the original concept out here.
Who was the last guest that you had with the wind?
My wife. So we did that.
Okay.
It was crazy out here. Everything was blown. The umbrella blew away because I have an umbrella over the camera so it doesn't overheat. The umbrella blew 100 feet away, even more.
Yeah.
Stuff was blowing all over the place. But today has been perfect.
This is beautiful.
This has been a great thing. So yeah. So we probably have covered everything. What else do you want to talk about?
I have a couple questions about your alien and your Bigfoot. The year after I moved here, I don't know if you're familiar with the Desert Oracle podcast.
I am familiar with it.
Yeah. So I teamed up with that dude, Ken Lane. We had the short-lived Salon series called UFO Social Club.
Oh.
We met at Touchdown Bar in Yucca Valley, right on the airstrip there. And our goal was to have a bunch of people come in and we would just talk about esoteric shit, right? Aliens, Bigfoot, whatnot. But then we got people who were maybe a little too weird.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, I don't know if we want to do this anymore. But anyways, I was wondering, have you ever seen a Bigfoot or have you ever seen a UFO?
I have seen a UFO.
Oh, yeah?
And it was a while ago. It was in New York in the 80s.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What happened?
And it actually, what I feel like, they talk about, and I forget exactly what the military is calling them, but they're coming out with some
UAPs.
stuff. Right, but there was these triangular-shaped vehicles that are actually military testing.
TR-3Bs.
Right. So I saw that.
Supposedly they're anti-gravity.
Right. Supposedly they're anti-gravity. So I believe I saw one of those back in New York back in the day.
Wow.
And that kind of got me intrigued.
A lot of people have seen TR-3Bs in New York and New Jersey specifically. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was a while. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's a bunch of sightings during that time period too. So I think that's what's happening. And I believe that's what happened down in Arizona. That was what the Arizona Lights were as well.
Oh, the Phoenix Lights.
The Phoenix Lights, yeah.
Yeah. Although the one that they saw, the Phoenix Lights, it was way bigger. It was like the mothership of the TR3Bs.
Right. So I don't know.
Yeah.
There's, I do believe that something happened back in Roswell, and we've been reverse engineering, because because we barely can get planes off the ground, and then we have fiber optics. So kind of in a short period of time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or this
Yeah.
thing. Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. So
Exactly.
we can go on. That's enough. You got to come back and we'll do that as an episode. And maybe you can even introduce him to Ken, and that would be cool.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Because he's on Ancient Aliens a couple of times too.
Oh, I did show. During COVID. During COVID, I was home alone all the time, watching TV, and one night, I had on Ancient Aliens, and I was like, I know that voice. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then sure enough, it was Mr. Lane.
I love that show. And some of it's cool, and like with everything else, there's some stuff that's cool and some stuff that's a little over the top, but
before we go, one more show that is amazing is William Shatner.
Oh yeah.
Hosts Unexplained.
I've watched Unexplained.
Both seasons are very good. Ken's on that too, actually.
Yeah, I just I kind of, once I just kind of tuned in just so I can hear him say at the beginning. He gives us a little intro. He goes,
yeah.
That's what we're here to find out.
I love that he went to space. It was like he had no. You have to go.
You have to go.
Of course,
at 80 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got balls, man. So
I want to go to space.
You might.
I think
make
I
some
might
money.
Too.
All
20 years from now.
It just takes money these days. You can go now if you have the money.
Yeah.
That's another story for another day.
We'll make a really great film, and we'll both.
That's what I'm hoping.
We'll make a ton of money. We'll both go to space.
Well, we can create our own space-time continuum with the films.
Whoa, yes.
Which I'm working on. There's a whole lot of that in my universe.
I'm looking forward to seeing what else you have to produce.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, it was great having you on. What do you want to plug? You got any social media handles you want to plug? You want anybody to follow you or do anything? Because you do kind of some photography stuff on your Instagram too.
Yeah, I do. I'm a jerk of many trades.
Yeah.
You can find me on Facebook. I'm Stephanie Tisza or stephanietiza.com. I have some work samples up there.
And that is T-I-Z-S-A, right?
T-I-S.
T-I-S-Z-A.
Hungarian name.
And Stephanie is P-H-A-N-I-E, correct?
Yep. It's
right.
the
Stephanie Tisza. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And then I have a couple of shameless plugs here because I got a lot of stuff going on. We didn't even, since I last been here, I'm going to take like 2 minutes right now. Just talk about it. So since we last did this, we won in Vegas. Last time I was here, I said we were going to Vegas. We won Best Comedy in Vegas. We played in Studio City. We're playing in San Francisco right now at a really cool genre festival at Another Hole in the Head.
Oh.
So we're on virtually.
Cool.
So if you go to anotherholeinthehead.com, you can check out, and we're in the virtual festival in the block called Westering, or Westerings. Okay. I'm in a little bit of a Western block in that one. There's a trippy, weird Western block there that actually Chris Coppola has a film there too, Nick Cage's brother.
Oh, wow.
So he has a weird Western as well.
That's cool.
So I'm in pretty good company there. And then Sunday afternoon, this Sunday, December 5th, I am at the LA Underground Film Festival at the Complex Theater on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Yes, it's a great one.
Next week, next Saturday the 11th, I'm in Manhattan at the Producers Club at the Psychedelic Film and Music Festival.
Oh, that's fun.
And then the week after that, I am in St. George, Utah, making a personal appearance. I'm doing something. They have the Film and Media Alliance of Southern Utah. It's a film club, a big society. They're doing a charity event, and they have all sorts of stuff going on for gifts for kids and Santa Claus, and the night wraps up with the 75th anniversary of It's a Wonderful Life in the theater, in the Electric Theater. They have a historic theater. I am introducing the movie.
You're going. Oh, that's great.
I'm introducing the movie. I'm doing a big introduction to the movie, talking about the history of it.
Awesome.
And then I'm going to be doing a panel discussion afterwards. So fmasu.com, check them out. I'll be there next week. And what else do I got going on? Online public premiere is coming real soon. We have some real public premieres coming in town soon. You introduced me to Bobby First.
Yep.
First World, FURSDWORLD. He's on YouTube. He's on Facebook. We're going to be doing a premiere there. Chris Perry, another one of our good friends. You're friends with Chris. I'm friends with Chris. At his Bijou Theater, we're going to be doing the public premiere here. Chris has been on the show. Chris was part of making Astral Plane Drifter. We did all the voiceover, the ADR, our ADR. We did all in his theater at the Bijou Theater. So we're doing that there, and I think I covered everything. I'm on Instagram at the Mike Caravella, Mike Caravella 13 on Facebook, the YouTube channel, which is right here, Mikey Forearms channel, the MF. I think we covered everything. This has been a great day, a great show, a great guest. Thank you again, Stephanie.
Yay.
Thanks, E.T. He'll be back, and so will we. We'll see you soon. Peace.
Can you believe that he said I'll be